Braves fans in Atlanta chopped their way to a victory in Game 1 of this 3-game series. And as the Braves' future stars signed some autographs and took some pictures before tonight's big league game, well, they may be a couple years away, but we do have baseball tonight at Turner Field. It's the Phillies and the Atlanta Braves. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Phillies Baseball alongside Ben Davis. I'm Greg Murphy in for Tom McCarthy tonight, and Jared Eickhoff will get the ball for the Phillies tonight, making his 6th start in the big leagues, and really probably feeling very confident about himself because, Ben, he's coming off his best start of his young career.
I think it was his best start, considering the fact it was against those Chicago Cubs, who have been hot as blazes lately. These guys know how to swing the bats. They have some good young talent on their ball club. Schwarber, Chris Bryant, Rizzo, these guys can really swing it, and he really neutralized them with the breaking ball. Good fastball command, and what that led to was that very big overhand curveball to get a lot of those strikeouts.
And one of the things we've seen out of Jared Eickhoff is he seems to pitch with a lot of confidence, and he's able to set guys down in order, not allowing a whole lot of hits, just 3 hits in his last start, the home run in the first inning, and then 2 singles in the 7th, and this is how he gets it done.
Fastball usage pretty much the same, but you see that curveball usage has gone up. Changeup's about the same. The slider, I think, listen, if you have success with something, you're going to keep going to it. He's having success with that curveball. It's a good curveball. You're saying he should feel confident. Well, he should feel confident. He's got nasty stuff.
Well, having success with Cameron Rupp behind the plate is what Eickhoff has done early in his career. But tonight, for the very first time, Carlos Ruiz will be behind the plate for him. Of course, Chooch, the veteran guy, and can catch just about anybody. But it'll be interesting to see the dynamic as those two work together.
Chooch has been watching every game. He's a veteran guy, loves calling a game, really puts a lot of into
behind the plate for him. Of course, Chooch, the veteran guy, and can catch just about anybody. But it'll be interesting to see the dynamic as those two work together.
Chooch has been watching every game. He's a veteran guy, loves calling a game, really puts a lot of into what he has, the relationship that he has with his pitchers, calling a game, trying to figure out what is working best for their pitchers at night. But Cameron Rupp, has he done enough to solidify his spot as a starting catcher for next year? Defensively, yes, absolutely it's there. He throws the heck out of the baseball, blocks the ball well, and he has gained the respect of his pitching staff and the fingers that he puts down.
Well, a home run last night for Cameron Rupp, so good offensive numbers as well late in this season. But he's got some competition down there in the minor leagues, 2 guys that really have a very high upside.
Andrew Knapp has swung the bat great. Jorge Alfaro, they got in the Cole Hamels trade from Texas. Both guys are little, I wouldn't say suspect defensively, but they definitely need to work on a few things. Now, if you had your druthers, what would you rather have? A good offensive catcher or a good defensive catcher? If you can put the two together, you're going to be set for a long time.
I think that's what they're hoping, that one of those guys will figure it out on both sides of the baseball. All right, starting pitchers tonight, we talked about Jared Eickhoff. Ryan Weber will get the start for the Braves, just his 3rd major league start. When we come back on the other side, we'll head to our Comcast Sportsnet studios. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank. One deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com today to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at ibx.com.
rookie starting pitchers taking the mound in Atlanta. But before we get you back out to Greg Murphy and company, welcome to our Comcast Sportsnet studios back here in Philadelphia alongside Ricky Metallico. I'm Marshall Harris. Freddie Galvis, he's hitting in the 8-hole tonight. He's over his last 13, and he's starting at second base for the first time all season. Can this mess with a player's psyche? That many changes in just one game?
It could, but it's a strange time of year. You're late in the season. Give some guys some different looks. Maybe he needs a little different look. I mean, this is a guy that has been struggling here as of recently. Maybe you throw him over at second base, you give him a little change of scenery, maybe it changes his thought process up at the plate. You put him back down in the 8-hole. That's probably where he should be hitting anyways. I don't see him as a top-of-the-lineup hitter anyways, but hopefully just change the scenery from Pete Mechanic.
Now, he's only a .224 hitter at Turner Field for his career, but he has been red hot against Atlanta this year. 400, that's 24 hits and 60 at-bats. Ricky, wouldn't you want a guy like that who's played so well against the Braves just a little bit higher in the lineup?
Yeah, you would, but you also brought up, I mean, there's always weigh-ins on both sides. You look at a .228 batting average at Turner Field against what he's done this year, take your pick.
All right, Freddie Galvis, the rest of the Phillies looking to even up this 3-game set against the Braves. On the other side, it will be Greg Murphy, Ben Davis, and Leslie Goodell. It's the Phils and Braves first pitch coming in just a moment.
She said yes. You're the best man.
Down here in Atlanta, showing their Phillies fever right down to the very end here at Turner Field tonight, as we're just a couple minutes away from the first pitch. Phillies and Atlanta Braves, and here is your starting lineup for the Atlanta Braves and for the Philadelphia Phillies. Tonight's starting lineup for the Phils is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And Andres Blanco will lead off and play shortstop, followed by Darnell Sweeney playing left field tonight. Odubel Herrera will bat third and play center field, followed by Ruff, Bogusevic. Carlos Ruiz doing the catching tonight. Cody Ashley will play third and bat seventh. Freddie Galvis batting eighth and playing second base. And pitching for the Phils, Jared Eichhoff, and batting ninth. And they will be facing this guy, Ryan Weber, 6 foot, 180-pounder, just 25 years old, making his third major league start, an ERA of 4.38. And Ben, the Phils have seen him in his first 2 starts. In fact, he made his major league debut against the Phillies about 2 weeks ago.
Yes, he did. And to be honest with you, Murph, not a whole lot, anything special about Ryan Weber. I mean, he's a strike thrower, but he will give you something to hit. It's just a matter of getting yourself out. You must stay in the middle of the field with Ryan Weber. If you get out in front, you hit a lot of rollovers.
Yeah, he's got a fastball, curveball, and change. He's not going to overpower you. Fastball at about 89 miles per hour. Change up at about 81, so pretty good differential on that. But he's a guy that's got to hit his spots, and if he does, he can be effective in the game in his major league debut. It was 6 innings for him, 4 hits, 2 earned runs against the Phils. Well, that'll bring us to our Nissan keys to the game. What do you got there?
Runners in scoring position.
Yes.
You see it there. Something has to be done for the Phillies offensively. You've been saying it all year, but they have to find a way to get some runs in and hook them if you got them. We'll get to it later in the game. But Jared Eichhoff's breaking ball has been very, very effective. And if it's on again tonight, keep using it against this very aggressive
Braves lineup.
Yeah, you talked about that at the open of the program, and it was really working in his last start. And as you said, we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes when we see him. But let's get things underway with Andres Blanco leading off for the Phillies, batting .294 on the season. Blanco playing shortstop tonight. Freddie Galvis over at second base. A little bit of a change for Pete Mackanin defensively, and Blanco will lead things off. First pitch to him is inside for a ball, so it's 1-0 to Andres Blanco. Pitch is over for a strike, so the count even 1-1 now to Blanco. 1 for 4 last night was Andres. And he pops that one up on the left side. Hector Olivera and Simmons giving chase. Olivera will make the play in foul territory. That's the first out of the ball game. 1 down for the Phils, and that'll bring up Darnell Sweeney. A nice play by Hector Olivera in foul territory.
He did a nice job of finding a spot. Once you do that, you get a ball in foul territory, run immediately to the spot you think the ball's going to end up, make the catch.
You see it. I thought maybe Simmons would get over there. Might be a little bit of a better angle for him, but Olivera had it the whole way. Called him off, makes the play. So that'll bring up Darnell Sweeney playing left field tonight. Sweeney batting .172. 3 home runs and 10 RBIs since joining the Phillies. He takes that one over the outside corner for a strike.
Very important for the Phillies hitters to make sure Ryan Weber elevates the baseball. If you go down there with him, he pitches to contact. If you go down there with him, as I said, you will roll a lot of balls over.
As we said, he's making his 3rd start in his big league career. First one against the Phils, he took a no decision. Or excuse me, he took the loss against the Phils, a no decision versus the Mets. A couple of days later, went 6 innings against the Phils, 6 1/3 against the Mets. So he hasn't been hit around too much. He's done a pretty nice job so far. He's got the count easy, even 2-2 to Darnell Sweeney. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Outside and high for a ball. It's 3-2.
One thing I thought Adam Morgan did very effectively last night, pitch to contact. Pitch count was down, obviously 69 pitches in those 6 innings, but he pitches to contact.
That one's fouled straight back. We'll do it again. Count remains full. Well, today's lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Don Holcomb from Roebling, New Jersey. If the Phillies hit a home run in the game, Don's going to win $100.
Good luck, Don.
3-2 pitch to Sweeney. That one is popped foul. Giving chase is Olivera, but that one is going to find the seats. Count remains 3-2. Another beautiful night in Atlanta.
86 degrees.
Doesn't feel like 86.
Beautiful.
Feels like about 76. No?
First time I've ever been to Atlanta where it was this dry. There's 0 humidity.
Yeah. We'll take it. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ground ball, shortstop, Simmons. Down on it, across the diamond to Freddie Freeman, and that's your second out of the inning. 6-3, Darnell Sweeney, and that'll bring up Odubel Herrera. Sweeney saw some pitches, but the end result, ran out to shortstop.
And they pretty much stayed away from Darnell the whole time there, and fastballs and changeups.
Well, Herrera was 2 for 5 last night. He's got that average hovering just below the 300 mark. He's at 297 for the season. First pitch to Herrera is a little bit low and outside for a ball. He's batting .327 in the month of September. He had that one lull right in the middle of the season, but other than that, he has been an offensive machine for the Phils. Outside for a ball. It's 2-0 to Herrera.
It was nice to see him pick himself out of that slump. It was a slump.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I'm swinging the bat well, I'm lining out here and there. It was a slump.
2-0 pitch. Fouls that one back. Yeah, his batting average at one point was about 290, and then it dropped to 240, and then little by little he worked his way back all the way up to 300 and up above 300 there for a little bit. He said it. He wants to bat 300 in his rookie season. It's a goal of his, and it's certainly attainable at this point. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's inside for a ball. He's going to put his bat down for a moment. He does play with a little bit of a flair, doesn't he?
I think he was definitely looking for a pitch outside here. I mean, that pitch really not all that close to Odubel.
So the count is 3-1 now to Herrera. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Foul back. 3 batters in, the second full count. Ryan Weber. Pat Hoberg is behind the plate tonight, calling the balls and strikes. Crew chief Jim Joyce over there at first. Greg Gibson at second. Chad Fairchild, who was behind the plate last night, is over there at third. Weber has his sign, the 3-2 pitch. Outside for a ball, and he walks him. So the first base runner of the evening is Odubel Herrera. That'll bring up Darren Ruff.
Very frustrating for a pitcher. Get 2 quick outs. Walk a man on full count. We know the disaster that can ensue after a 2-out walk. I speak about it all the time.
Those leadoff walks and those 2-out walks. We seem to do some damage. Well, there are 2 outs here as Herrera takes his leadoff first. Darren Ruff steps in. Takes the first pitch over for a strike. Ruff batting .239, the 8 home runs, 29 RBIs on the season. Go over for Herrera, who's back.
Darren saw a lot of pitches last night.
Going outside for a ball. It's 1-1. And of course, Darren getting a chance to play against right-handers right now as Ryan Howard continues to mend that bruised knee that he had. It's the 1-1 pitch outside for a ball. It's 2-1.
Very important for a right-hander when you get a sinker baller, right-hand sinker baller, to make sure you try and stay up the middle. Because if you get out and around the ball, that is what these guys live on. They feast on you getting out and around the ball, smothering the baseball to the left side of the diamond.
This is again, it's 3-1 to Darren Ruff.
Very imperative for those right-handers to make sure they stay connected with their right elbow to their side, and really trying, almost like you're like a golf swing. You're trying to push that ball out to right center. That forces yourself to stay through the baseball, not roll it over.
Well, that one is poked to right field. Nick Markakis chases it, and that's going to go foul. Hit it a long way, but about 15 feet foul. So another full count for Ryan Weber. Just an update on Ryan Howard as we talk about him. We were told today, Scott Profrock mentioned that it's possible that we may see Ryan Howard by the end of the weekend as a pinch hitter. He still kind of is favoring that knee a little bit, and kind of that deep bone bruise, and but he is getting better, so it's possible we'll see him at least on this road trip at some point. 3-2 pitch. That one is lofted into right field. Markakis is underneath it, and he makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So Phils get a base runner, but that's all they can get. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. We head to the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And Nick Markakis will lead it off and play right field, followed by Hector Olivera, your third baseman. Freddie Freeman, A.J. Pierzynski, and Cameron Maben. Andrelton Simmons will play shortstop. Jace Peterson second. Michael Bourne batting eighth and playing left field tonight. And Ryan Weber, of course, pitching and batting ninth. First pitch from Eichhoff to Markakis. Line shot right past Darren Ruff, and that's a base hit. Bogusevic gets to it quickly and brings it back in, but that's the leadoff single for Nick Markakis. Past the diving Darren Ruff. One pitch and one hit for the Braves.
Well, I'm sure this is something that Jared Eichhoff witnessed last night, and he knew about the Braves. And these guys are ready to go.
Yeah.
They're very aggressive at the home plate. Doesn't mean you can't throw in first pitch strikes. You just can't lay it in there because these guys are aggressive.
So that'll bring up Hector Olivera. First pitch to him is over for a strike. It's 0-1.
As we take a look at the scouting report for Jared Eichhoff, he'll sit around 91. 4-pitch pitcher, but very low pitches per inning at 14.6.
That's in the inside corner. It's 0-2 now quickly to Hector Olivera.
And probably the best thing I like about Jared, along with a lot of the other Phillies pitchers, is his demeanor.
Yeah, he attacks.
You wouldn't know if he's up 10-0 or down 10-0.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Ground ball back up the middle. Andres Blanco flips it to Galvis for one and over to first. Not in time. The fact that they even made that close at first was impressive. A nice play by Andres Blanco and a nice flip to Freddie Galvis playing second base tonight. We'll get the lead runner. It's the first out of the inning.
And the reason that double play was not complete because of that hop right there to Andres Blanco. That was a tricky hop. The good thing Andres did was make sure he secures this baseball and gets the out at second base. You always want to get that lead runner. Watch this hop. Kicks up, boom, right on the heel there of Andres. Gives a good feed right to Freddie's chest. Tries to make the relay, but just not in time.
So with one out, that'll bring up Freddie Freeman. First pitch to Freeman. Oh, line shot into the crowd. Man, that got there in a hurry. Right over the Braves dugout. I think it hit a seat. I'm hopeful. Everybody looks to be okay.
There's a lot of empty ones down there.
Whew. There's the 0-1 pitch to Freeman, and that one's fouled in the other direction. So it's quickly 0-2 to Freddie Freeman. Banked 278, 16 home runs, and 56 RBIs. Olivera leads off first. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Just a little bit low. It's 1-2. One-two pitch, swing and a miss, and he got him. First strikeout for Jared Eichhoff. And the second out here in the bottom of the first. Nice pitch from Eichhoff.
And I think this is set up by Chooch. Yes, it's a very good breaking ball, but the take that Freddie Freeman had on the pitch before that, another breaking ball, he really flinched on it. I think Chooch saw that. There's some things that a catcher can see that a pitcher cannot see because he's trying to execute that pitch. Well, he went right back to it and got the swing.
Well, that'll bring up A.J. Pierzynski. Veteran catcher having a terrific year for the Braves. Takes that one over for a strike. Batting .293 with 7 home runs and 44 RBIs. Worked his way into the starting role as the catcher. Couldn't afford to sit him early in the season. He was red hot. It's fouled back. So it's 0-2 again. Jared Eichhoff working ahead of the hitters.
AJ hitting .320 since July 1st. That is pretty good.
Pretty good. Well, 2 outs. Olivera scrambles back at first. Eichhoff gets his sign from Ruiz. Another throw over.
Yesterday, the Braves game notes had a few notes on AJ. He is currently 6th on the all-time list with 390 career doubles. 6th. And a couple players behind him, Johnny Bench, Jorge Posada, Gary Carter.
I've heard of those guys.
They're behind AJ.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and lifted into center field. Herrera breaks in and will make the catch. Got a nice jump on that, and that's good for the 3rd out of the inning. So Braves get 1 hit, but no runs to show for it, and 1 man left on base. No score after 1. Of the season. Friday, October 2nd at 7:05. Saturday, October 3rd at 7:05. And then Sunday, final game of the year, October 4th at 3:05. That's Fan Appreciation Day, a 2016 Phillies schedule magnet and prizes and surprises for all the fans. And if you need to get your tickets, you can order now at Phillies.com. 1 inning in the books. We head to the top of the 2nd. Leading it off for the Phils will be Brian Bogusevic. First pitch, Bogusevic is outside. Speaking of those Marlins, the Phils will head there after they leave here in Atlanta. They lost to the Nationals today, 5-2. Bryce Harper, another home run. It's over for a strike. It's 1-1 to Brian Bogusevic.
I think it's funny how people are really debating the National League MVP race.
Yeah.
I think it's comical. Oh, that's
1-1
good
pitch.
hitting.
There it is. Goes the opposite way. Base hit in the left field. So that's the first hit for the Phils, and Bogusevic is a leadoff base runner. What'd you like about this?
Well, it's the fact that he just doesn't try and do too much. Gets a breaking ball and doesn't try and pull it. Tried to stay up the middle with it. Actually lets that breaking ball get a little too deep. Shoots it to left field. Hard hit line drive.
Bogusevic. All he's done is hit since he's been up here, batting .333 for the Phils since arriving in Philadelphia. That'll bring up Carlos Ruiz. First pitch to Chooch is over for a called strike. Chooch came in as a pinch hitter last night, 0 for 1 in the game. Bogusevic gets his lead off first, dives back.
He cracks me up every day. He literally goes out of his way every day to go up, shake your hand, and look you in the eye and say, "How's it going?"
Who, Carlos?
Every day.
Yeah.
He is the best.
He certainly is.
I did compliment him on his hair today. You enjoyed that?
Well, you know, coming from you, that's pretty good.
You know, it's funny, like watching Chooch over the years, you look at him on the field, he looks like a mean guy at times, you know?
And he is the complete opposite. And he takes that one on the outside corners. for a strike, so it's 0-2 to Carlos. He's checking out where exactly that one was.
This is a late call, first and foremost. Pat Hoberg.
Weber has his sign. The 0-2 pitch sails inside, so it's 1-2 to Carlos. Well, tonight's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box.
See.
Another throw over. He had Bogusevic leaning there. He was able to get back in. Freddie Freeman looking into the dugout. Take a quick peek at that one. I think you see Bogusevic was up. Ooh. I think he got his hand back in there, but that was close.
That was a quick one. Quick feet by Ryan Weber.
And he did indeed. So it's 1-2 to the batter Carlos Ruiz. Nobody out here in the top of the second. Cody Ashe waits on deck. There goes Bogusevic, and that's a nice piece of hitting by Carlos Ruiz, hitting behind Bogusevic, and he's going to go all the way to third. So a base hit for Schuch, and that's the way you make things happen offensively. Well done.
That was textbook. Schuch behind in the count. Doesn't matter. He's as good as anybody using that hole on the right side. Basically uses all upper body there and just shoots it that way. Can't tell me that's not intentional.
Yeah, that was perfect. Perfectly executed, and that'll bring up Cody Ashe now with a runner down there at third, which means there's a runner in scoring position, and Ben, that has been a issue over the last couple of days. In fact, 0 for 11 were the Phils last night with runners in scoring position. Cody Ashe will get the first crack to try and change that. Right to Freddie Freeman. They're going to go for the 2. They get the 1 at second, and a hesitation, but they'll get Cody at first as well. Bogusevic will score. Simmons thought for a second about coming home with that. That would have been a mistake.
It would have been a mistake. Yeah. The only reason he did think about it for a second because he's got an absolute howitzer at shortstop. Freddie Freeman, you're wondering why he didn't come home with this ball? Well, because it's the second inning.
Yeah.
If you can trade 2 outs for a run, you're going to do that every time, especially in the second inning. That ball hit kind of sharply. You see there, Freddie Freeman not a long way to go. Simmons double clutches. Still has time to get Cody Ashe at first base.
Well executed double play for the Braves. And that's the 2 outs, and that'll bring up Freddie Galvis. And that one sails inside on Freddie. It's 1-0. Yeah, at the moment that Simmons was thinking about coming home, Bogusevic was already about 2/3 of the way there. I don't think that he would have been able to complete that double play. Outside for a ball, it's 2-0.
Now, if that were me running, Freddie could have gone to shortstop. Simmons could have thrown it back to first, and they could have gotten me at home.
3-6-3-2 triple play.
Triple play.
Here's the 3-0 pitch to Freddie Galvis on the outside corner. Yeah, take a look. You see, that's Simmons has the ball there, and yeah, it would have been close. A perfect throw may have gotten him. As you said, as Freddie gets that one deep to right field, going back on it is Markakis at the wall, and just enough room to make the catch. Galvis gave that a ride. I think Markakis thought it was going to travel quite as far as it did. Puts himself right up against the wall to make that catch, but the Phils do get a run. A couple of hits in that inning. They push one across. It's 1-0 Phillies. exclusive inside look at the making of the long-awaited Joe Frazier statue. Follow sculptor Stephen Lane as he prepares to present to the world the statue of a boxing legend. Don't miss A Left Hook Legacy. It's tonight at 11 over on the Comcast network. Dalton Joe Frazier. Well, the Phils have the early lead in this one at Turner Field. It's 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. It'll be Cameron Maybin, Andrelton Simmons, and Jace Peterson for the Braves here in the second.
It's quite windy tonight, Murph.
A little breezy. Which way is it blowing?
Good thing I used extra gel.
Is that ever something that you don't do? Swing and a miss. 0-1 to Cameron Maybin. A little bit high. It's 1-1. Working quickly is Eichhoff. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 82-mile-per-hour changeup, I guess.
Well, that's what's nice. When you have 4 pitches, you miss with the curveball, you come right back with a slider.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Over for a called third strike. Then you come back with the 92.
That is pitching.
Yeah, and that is the second strikeout for Jared Eichhoff. And as you mentioned before, he gets a lot of strikeouts on the fastball, but also using his breaking stuff. And Leslie Goodell, that was so effective for him against the Cubs.
Yeah, he has really turned things up a notch, Murph, this month. And September has been a little bit different for him than his first few starts in August. And if you look at it, as his use of his curveball has gone up, the opponent's batting averages have gone down, and Cameron Rupp has caught 4 of his 5 starts prior to tonight, and Rupp said he saw a big difference in his last game. He said he had heard about his curveball before he got here, but was waiting to see it, and it finally came out. He said he had an A+ game last time out, and he also showed extreme confidence that he hadn't seen in his prior starts. Pete Mackanin said that he heard Bob McClure, the pitching coach, talking to the pitchers and said that you always want to be the lion, not the antelope, and that's what he thought of Eichhoff in his last start, that he looked like the lion in that start.
Being the lion is a good thing for sure. Well, he's been pounding the strike zone tonight. He's actually gone 0-1 on 6 hitters. The first 6 hitters of this game, he's gotten ahead of them. And, Leslie's right. I do think you're starting to see, and it makes a lot of sense. You're starting to see a young pitcher starting to believe, all right, I belong up here. I can do some good things up here. I can get these guys out. And that's been the result.
Well, yeah, he comes up and we hear about this great curveball that he has, and he's going slider, slider, slider. And he did say that, yes, the balls are a little bit different. The big league balls are a little different than the minor league balls. They're more tightly wound.
A little hit and run action for the Atlanta Braves as Simmons is going to end up at third. Base hit by Jace Peterson. Runners at the corners. So they follow suit, and now better watch out as Andrelton Simmons thought about coming home there for a second. The time is called at this point, so runners on the corners for the Braves. Back-to-back base hits.
Freddie Gonzalez see it work for Pete Mackanin and the Phillies. He says, you know what, I'm going to try it myself.
Well, they'll bring on Michael Bourne. Came into last night's game in the second inning, taking over for Adonis Garcia after making his base running blunder. Got his manager upset enough to have him pull him out of the game.
Getting back to that breaking ball, though, you have success doing something. You're going to keep going to it.
Throw over to first. Peterson gets back. So it's 1 out. Runners on the corners for the Braves. Well, this would be a good spot for a strikeout. The pitcher on deck. First pitch to Bourne sails outside. It's 1-0.
I'll take the double play.
Okay.
And then you have the pitcher leading off.
That'll work too. Breaking ball over for a strike. It's 1-1 to Michael Bourne. Bourne batting just 170 on the season. He has really struggled. And line shot right at Darren Ruff. It's off his glove. He's going to come home with it, and out at the plate is Andrelton Simmons. So a nice play by Darren Ruff, able to keep that in front of him. I don't know if that short hopped Ruff or if it hit his glove and just popped out on the line, but able to keep his composure. Simmons is out at home plate for the second out.
Well, it's a good play in the sense that we talked about Freddie Freeman, why he didn't go for 2 last inning. In this situation, after the initial drop, you're not going to get 2 anyway with Michael Bourne running because of his speed. Although that could have been a double play, I think he just dropped it.
Yeah.
But he does have enough sense about him. He does not panic.
I think it may have short hop.
Yeah, it may have short hop, but he realizes I'm not going to get the double play anyway. I'm going to go home and preserve this run at home plate.
So now runners on first and second, but with 2 outs, and Ryan Weber is the batter. And Weber sees one of those breaking balls over for a strike. It's 0-1. You see Carlos out in front, applies the tag to the back knee. Nice play all the way around. Eichhoff can see himself out of this one. That one's over for a called strike. That's a little unfair. It's 0-2 to Ryan Weber. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he got him. Third strikeout for Eichhoff, and it comes in a big spot. So the Braves unable to capitalize on the early success of the inning. And we head to the top of the third, 1-0 Phillies. Stump the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line, Ben. The question is, which pitcher ended Greg Maddox's streak of 4 straight NL Cy Young Awards from 1992 to 95? So who ended that streak? That answer will be revealed later in the game. Think about that. As we get set to start the third inning, Phils with a 1-0 lead. Jared Eichhoff will be leading off, followed by Andres Blanco and Darnell Sweeney. You see Adam Morgan pitched last night. Did a real nice job last night. Continues to make a case for being in part of this rotation going forward. There you see his numbers, just the 2 runs, 6 hits, no walks. That is key. Eichhoff takes the first pitch over for a strike.
I thought Adam was spectacular last night.
Kind of a hard luck loser for sure in that game, as Williams Perez was very good as well. So it's 0-2 now to Eichhoff, who's batting .222 since being called up, 2 for 9. He sees a breaking ball and fouls it off.
Weber's thinking, you got me out on a couple hooks. I'm going to try one against you.
You might see another one right here. The 0-2 pitch. Yeah, it's fouled off as well. That was the heater.
See Weber drop down a little bit on that one. A little Laredo style.
40 pitches now for Weber as we're only in the top of the third. Nobody out. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and he got it. So he returns the favor. Eichhoff is a strikeout victim for the first out of the inning. Well, it's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag #PhillyPhotoDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. All brought to you by the folks at T-Mobile. Leslie Goodell will have that photo for us a little bit later on in the game, so send them in now. Andres Blanco will step to the plate. Popped up, foul territory in his first at bat. Takes that one over for a strike. The Toyota out-of-town scoreboard, the Yanks and the Mets, that's a final. Yanks returning the favor from yesterday's loss. They beat the Mets today 5-0. 7 games now. NL East lead for the Mets over the Nationals. And they still have to play them, what, three more times, right? It's outside for a ball. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it's possible. You'll remember.
I remember where I heard it first, Murph.
That's right. I remember a particular team down 7 with 17 to play. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. Count is 3-1 to Andres Blanco. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 3-2.
Andres gets in a good hitter's count. He doesn't hold anything back.
Well, here's the 3-2 pitch. And he swings through that one, so it's another strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts for Weber. It's the second out here in the top of the third.
It's a sinker down and away. He is getting some very good movement. Even the strike 3 to Eichhoff, last batter. Andres well behind that one as well.
That is the one thing you've noticed. When I was watching the highlights of Ryan Weber from his last start against the Mets, you do notice that late movement on his pitches. And I guess that's what makes him effective. As Darnell Sweeney's first pitch swinging, he pops it up. Simmons going back, he's called off. Michael Bourne makes the catch. That's the third out of the inning. So the Phils go 1-2-3, an easy inning for Ryan Weber. We'll head to the bottom of the third. The Phils up by 1. WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Bottom of the third. Phillies still with that 1-0 lead. They can get one in the second. It'll be the top of the order for the Braves. Nick Markakis, who singled in his first at bat.
Jared, with just the 25 pitches so far, he's not thrown more than 4 pitches to any one hitter. Talked about his efficiency earlier in the program, averaging 14.6 on the year.
Yeah, that is efficient. Pitch is a little bit low to Markakis, so it's 2-0 to the Braves leadoff hitter. Batting well over 360 out of that leadoff hole is Nick Markakis. .2-0 pitch, ground ball, second base. Freddie Galvis has it, throws over to first, and that's the first out of the inning. Touched on it right at the top, but Pete Macannon's saying he wanted to switch things up a little bit, so Freddie Galvis playing second base tonight. Andres Blanco over at shortstop, and there was a lot of people asking some questions about why that was. Why do you think it was, Ben?
I think he's just trying to find something that's going to get him a W. You know, the problems that the Phillies have more so lie with, you know, the starting pitching and the offensive struggles. But if Pete thinks it could happen, I know a lot of folks were speculating, you know, J.P. Crawford coming up, and
yeah, I don't think that had anything to do with it.
It had anything to do with it.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Oliveros, foul straight back and right beneath us. Pete Maccannon did joke with the writers today about saying that, you know, Freddie Galvis did a pretty nice job for the Phillies when Chase Utley was hurt a couple years back. He filled in at second base, and he was saying that he told Boa what a nice job he did, and that was when Boa wasn't here. And
right.
Boa said, well, I don't remember that. And so he said, so I stuck him out there to show Boa. I'm not exactly sure that was his reasoning either, but it made for a good story.
I was on with Ricky Bowe and Marshall before the game at Phillies pregame live. He said, "Is that anything to do with the Reading Fightins finishing up tonight?" And I said, "You know what? I think absolutely 100% it has nothing to do with that."
Yeah. I would agree.
Got a chuckle out of the boys.
Well, Freddie Galvis was pretty good over there at second base when he filled in for Chase. So 2-2 pitch. Oh. Ooh, where was that? Chooch thought it was a strikeout. He almost sent that one down to Kodiashi. Take a look.
He thought it was a strikeout because it was.
Yeah. Well, that'll bring the count full. It's 3-2 now to Oliveira, and he has a line drive to right field. Going back on it is Bogusevic, and reaches up and it's off the bottom of the wall. Oliveira cruises past second. He's going to try for 3. Here comes the relay throw into third, and not in time, and that skips past Kodiashi. Reichhoff is backing up nicely, so that'll be a triple for Hector Oliveira, and that's a shame because he had him struck out, and isn't that always the way? Brian Bogusevic got a good jump on that, but it was just out of the reach out there in right field.
It does seem to be always the way. You can put that one on Pat Hoberg, and you don't like to see it happen. Yes, this pitch is up. It is on the outer third, but it is elevated a little bit. Oliveira, a very strong young man, drives it out to right field, and a couple balls have really jumped out that way today. But now the Braves have a man at third with less than 2 outs.
And that'll bring up the always dangerous Freddie Freeman. Now, he struck out in his first at bat. Lefty's hitting, coming into tonight, lefty's hitting 300 against Jared Eichhoff, where right-handers hitting only 175. Got this guy in the middle of the lineup, a lefty. You probably want to be pretty careful with him. First pitch is a little bit low for a ball. It's 1-0. Saw Carlos go out and have a quick word with Eichhoff, probably just saying, all right, let that one go and don't worry about this guy.
He was also probably giving him a breather after having to back up the throw up towards the Phillies dugout, and then the ball skips down towards the on-deck circle. Jared had to sprint over there to make sure that ball doesn't end up in the Phillies dugout, and they're allowing Oliveira to score.
2-0 pitch outside for a ball. It's 3-0. And I would imagine he's not going to give in to Freddie Freeman at this point. Although a dangerous hitter in A.J. Pierzynski waits on deck. .30 green light. You knew that was coming. He fouls it back, so it's 3-1 now to Freddie Freeman.
Here it is, hit it.
Oliveira leads off third. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. 3-1 pitch. Good pitch. Freeman froze on that, and now it's 3-2. He battles back. So back-to-back full counts now for Eichhoff.
3-1 curveball, and it wasn't a get me over. It had some snap to it.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Inside for a ball, so he walked him. Yeah, we talked about the Mets a couple minutes ago. Don't forget, they're coming to town as well. Final homestand of the year. September 29th, 30th, and October 1st. All 3 games at 7:05. Can they hold on? Can they hold on and win the NL East? Well, you get a chance to see it firsthand. Order your tickets now at Phillies.com. So Pierzynski will be the batter. He flew out to center field in his first at bat. Runners on the corners with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. And it's a line shot, and it's right at Freddie Galvis at second. So off the hands, and that's a good pitch and a good result for the Phils. Second out of the inning.
AJ not very happy with himself. That is this is just called having your lunch handed to you. You're sitting there, and when you get jammed that badly, you got to go pick your thumbs up out of the batter's box.
Well, that was a big spot for that. So 2 outs now, and Cameron Maben is the batter. He struck out in his first at bat. So Eichhoff looking to work out of another little bit of a jam. First pitch swinging. Cameron Maben, 0-1.
I can't write L4 on that.
Man. HL4, humpback liner, maybe? I know. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fly ball right field. Coming in is Bogusevic, and just in foul territory, he makes the catch. So a nice job by Jared Eichhoff getting out of a little bit of a jam. Runners on the corners with 1 out. He works his way through it, and the Phils keep their lead 1-0 as we head to the 4th. Mountain Coffee K-Cup Pods. It's great tasting coffee at amazing low prices, delivered free the very same day when you order by 11:30. W.B. Mason knocks it out of the park. Who but W.B. Mason? So 3 innings in the books here at Turner Field. We head to the top of the 4th. Phillies with 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. Braves, no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. And Odubel Herrera will be the leadoff man here in the top of the 4th. He walked in his only at bat. He swings through that first pitch. It's 0-1 to Herrera.
Manny Motorstick.
Loaded up. Ryan Weber has his sign, and that one is fouled over the Phillies dugout into the seats. So it's 0-2 now to Odubel Herrera. It'll be Herrera, Darren Ruff, Brian Bogusevic. 3-4-5 here in the top of the 4th. On the inside corner, called third strike. No argument from Odubel Herrera. Pretty good pitch from Weber, and that is the 3rd strikeout for him. And that brings us to our Geico quote of the day, and this one is coming from the skipper of the Atlanta Braves, Freddie Freeman. It's going from Freddie Freeman, the first baseman. He says, I mean, we're to the point now where I don't want to lose 100 games. We don't want to lose 100 games. Get back to that. They don't want to be the worst team, is basically what he's saying. It's kind of like a battle right now. We've got 2 more games against them, and I don't want to come in last. That is the quote from Freddie Freeman, our Geico quote of the day. And, you know, hey, these guys are big leaguers, and there's something to be said for playing for pride. You're not playing for much else at this point, but they are playing for pride. I know, Leslie, I know you talked to a couple of the guys on both sides in both dugouts, and that was the message that you were hearing.
Well, and Murph, the guys that I spoke to over with Atlanta were Nick Swisher and Michael Bourne. They've been around the block before. Swisher and Bourne both joined the Braves in the beginning of August. So to them, the numbers mean nothing. They just know that they've never lost, or for Swisher anyway, at 34 years old, he's never lost before. So this is very new to him. He understands his job is to be a bit of a role model for these guys. And he tells all these young players, he said they have something like 20 rookies on the team, and every day he tells them, I want you to bring your A game. I'm not worried about what's going on, wins, losses. I just want to see you play your hardest. As for Jeff Francoeur, who I think is very similar to Swisher in his role with the Phillies team, I spoke with him, and he wholeheartedly agreed and said that he tells these guys, you know what, if we were in a race, you wouldn't be here right now. So take advantage of this opportunity you have right now, play your hardest, and show them that you deserve to be here.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people talk about it, Ben, and okay, the guys out on the field right now in the game, both teams with just over 50 wins and 100 losses are staring them in the face. The Phils with 92 losses and 28 games back. But that is true. I mean, these guys are playing for jobs. They're playing to be noticed for next season. And after all, it is their line of work as well. So there's a little bit of that.
Exactly right. It's their line of work.
And you know what, guys? The number 100 really seems to mean nothing to anybody in either dugout. It's not a number they're focusing on. It's every day the grind of going out there and showing that you've got some pride and that you can play hard and you can fight through a game. But that number 100, anytime I've mentioned it to anybody, it doesn't seem to really be lingering over their head. That's not their concern. Of course, that last place doesn't feel too good. But that's not what they're worried about at the moment.
There is pride involved, and there's a lot of pride involved with baseball players.
That could be too, and it will be. And we'll get back to the pride factor in the next inning, but a nice play right there. 1-6-3 double play. Last time the Phillies lost 100 games, 1961. A little more recent for the Braves. They lost 106 games in 1988. Both teams trying to avoid that this year. Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop Nissan.com. So just an 11-pitch inning for the Braves and for Ryan Weber. He's thrown 59 total in this one. Gets his offensive team back out on the field quickly here in the bottom of the fourth. It'll be Simmons, Jace Peterson, and Michael Bourne, 6, 7, and 8 in the Braves lineup. You see Simmons 1 for 1, singled back in the second. Was thrown out at home plate trying to score. A nice play by Darren Ruff. Check swing, no swing. Says Jim Joyce. The count is 1-1 now to Andrelton Simmons.
Getting back to what Leslie was talking about, it's about pride for these guys, not wanting to lose 100 games, and they get paid to go out and play baseball. It's the best job in the world. And a lot goes into it. A lot of preparation. You saw A.J. Pierzynski, 38 years old. He's been in the big leagues for 18 years, 17 years. And you saw his reaction on not getting that run home. You can't tell me there's not a pride, there's not a lot of ego to these guys.
Yeah, I thought what Leslie said about Jeff Francoeur and his thoughts was interesting as well. As that one's grounded right at Freddie Galvis. 4-3 goes to put out, first out of the inning. Where he said, look, to some of these younger guys, you wouldn't be here if we were in the race.
Right.
And there's a lot of truth to that. So take advantage of the time that you are here, because there's no guarantee you'll be back. And that's really how these guys have to approach it. And I think for the most part, certainly on the Phillies side of things, I can't speak to the Braves side, but I think that's exactly what these guys are trying to do on a daily basis. And it's part of the reason why we saw what happened with Garcia last night.
Yes.
A tough hop for Darren Ruff, but he stays with it. That's the second out of the inning. Nice play by Ruff.
Watch your lips.
Yeah. And don't forget, Phillies Fantasy Camp is the sports experience where anything becomes possible. It's January 20th through the 24th, 2016. Join a Legends lineup that now includes Mike Schmidt for coaching, camaraderie, and baseball like you've never played it before. You can take part in a 1-hour hitting clinic with Schmitty, Hall of Famer. You can create memories that last a lifetime. Book now at PhilliesFantasyCamp.com. One sails inside to Michael Bourne. There's 2 outs, 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Over for a strike. It's 1-1. Speaking of Mike Schmidt, he'll of course be back in the booth with us. Not next weekend, but the following, the final homestand of the year, the final 3 games of the season. Weekends with Schmidt. As Michael Bourne swings through that. It's always fun. That'll be Matt, too, right?
Yes.
Matt Stairs, who I believe is home in Canada right now. Maybe watching us on the World Wide Web. They have that up there in Canada, right? 1-2 pitch. Outside for a ball. If he is, I'm about to get a text. Eichhoff has his sign. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Yeah, he did. And that is a strikeout for Jared Eichhoff to end the 4th inning. 4th strikeout for Eichhoff as he fools Michael Bourne with that breaking ball. Carlos Ruiz will lead it off in the top of the 5th. Trivia question answer. The question is, which pitcher ended Greg Maddox's streak of 4 straight National League Cy Young Awards from 1992 to 95? Ben Davis?
I'm going to say it was his teammate and recent inductee into the Hall of Fame, John Smoltz.
Well done. And I can vouch that you did not look that up. Good for you. John Smoltz is the answer. Back in 1996, the Cy Young Award winner. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. You, Ben Davis, are a winner.
Woohoo!
Carlos Ruiz is the batter. He singled in his first at bat. Takes that one inside. It's 1-1 to Chooch.
I'm honored to say that I was very fortunate to hit a home run off John Smoltz.
Is that right? I don't think I got him. That one was sailing inside. Late break. It's 2-1 now to Carlos. Cody Ashe, Freddie Galvis will be next in line to face Ryan Weber. One's outside corner. Wow, outside corner for a strike. It's 2-2. Grounded back to Weber. Steps back off the mound and makes the throw over to Freddie Freeman for the first out. 1-3 goes the put out. Here's your Cy Young Award winners back in the 90s. A lot of Braves on that list. Man, oh man. And I guess that's why there's a lot of pennants out there in left center field here at Turner Field, because, man, oh man, did they have some good pitching. 3 different pitchers win Cy Youngs in a decade for the same team, and Maddox won 4 of them. Glavine won 2 of them. That's impressive. First pitch to Cody Ashe is on the outside corner for a strike. Ashe grounded into that 3-6-3 double play back in the second inning, but it resulted in the only run of the ball game. Brian Bogusevic came home from third and he scored. That's where we stand. It's 1-0 Phillies here in the top of the 5th.
Anytime you have some success off a pitcher, I wouldn't say it was a ton of success, but I was able to hit a home run off John Smoltz. It's when he was starting. Comes back, I don't know, a year or 2 later as this closer, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. He went like 99, 100, and then he threw a 92-mile-an-hour split, and I sheepishly walked back to the bench, scratched my head up thinking, that wasn't the same stuff I saw when he was starting.
Not the same guy. Three pitches?
I mean, it was good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thanks for coming.
Tip of the cap. He was a good one. He was a great one, I should say.
Did everything.
Yeah.
Always wanted the ball.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Inside, Cody Ashe. It's 3-2. Another full count to a Phillies batter, the 5th full count. Offense has been tough to come by in these 2 games. Ground ball. Freddie Freeman backs up on it. Throws to Weber covering at first. 3-1 goes to put out. Well, Monday morning, break down the Eagles-Cowboys home opener with your Monday morning running back. It's Brian Westbrook live in the Bob studio. The best way to start your day is with Breakfast on Broad. Weekday mornings 6 to 8 on the Comcast Network. B. West.
Talking about Villanova football, Villanova UD coming up.
Yeah.
Say B. West and Howie Long, the best 2 to ever come out of Villanova.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you got a Hall of Famer, and you have a probably not a Hall of Famer, but certainly in the conversation for Brian Westbrook. UD, yeah.
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco, yeah. Freddie Galvis is the batter. It's 1-1 to him. What's Ryan Weber able to do?
Change speeds. The perfect example. 3-2 count to Cody Ashley right there. There's an 82-mile-an-hour changeup, and it wasn't so much the sinking of the baseball to Cody Ashley. It was just the speed, because the pitch was up a little bit. Didn't sink a whole lot on that changeup. Changeups tend to go down and away to a lefty from a righty. That one kind of just stayed up, and it was the speed of the pitch that got Cody out in front, and he rolled it over to Freddie Freeman at first base.
Yeah, you look at, we talked about it at the very beginning. Fastball, curveball change. Fastball averages 89. Changeup around 81. Not overpowering stuff. He does have pretty nice movement on his pitches.
He does.
2-2 pitch. And that is on the inside corner. Called. Third strike. So Freddie Galvis is a strikeout victim. The fourth strikeout victim of the game for Ryan Weber. Yep, there they are. The big three for the Atlanta Braves in the 90s. They won a lot of baseball games here in Atlanta. Brought to you by Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank's Champions in Action program recognizes nonprofit organizations that are making a difference in our communities. Congratulations to our latest champion, Philadelphia Academies. To learn more, visit citizensbank.com/community. At Citizens Bank, we want to help you bank better. So the next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. Bottom of the fifth. 1-0 Phillies here at Turner Field. First to face Jared Eichhoff in this inning will be the opposing pitcher, Ryan Weber. He struck out his first at bat. And he takes that one over for a strike. It's 0-1. Fouled out of play. It's 1-2. How about this? The Braves, who won last night, looking to win back-to-back games for the first time since August the 6th. They have not won consecutive games since August the 6th. Man, that's like 6 weeks, right? Am I doing the math right? That's a long time. 2-2 pitch. Fouled at the plate.
I think you'll see Jared go back to that breaking ball here when he got Ryan Weber out with the first time.
Well, he has a sign from Ruiz, the 2-2 pitch.
Maybe not.
Fastball. Fouled back. Now maybe he will, right?
You would think.
Weber actually had a decent cut at that. Look at the breakdown for Eichhoff, 19 and 42. And there it is. Changing speeds, and he gets Weber out in front of that, swinging through it. And that is the 5th strikeout for Jared Eichhoff. Leslie Goodell, we mentioned Ryan Howard, coming back from injury, getting closer. What's the very latest?
Well, yeah, as you said earlier, no timetable right now. But to add to what you said, he's still day-to-day. And Pete Mackanin said he doesn't think he's on the verge of playing, just yet. But he is getting better. He rode the stationary bike today, which apparently was easier today than it was yesterday. But he is still tender. So, certainly won't see him tonight.
You see Ryan's numbers versus the Braves. They're ridiculous. 50 career home runs and 147 RBIs.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about that earlier in the year. I kind of looked at his numbers versus the other NL East teams because he passed the season mark at this point in his career, 162 games against these teams. He passed that this year. And you look at his numbers against the teams in the NL East, and they would be MVP numbers against each one of those teams in a single season. He has done some damage over the years. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Nick Markakis, and that is fouled off on the left side. Giving chase is Cody Ashley, but he's going to run out of room into the seats.
Well, it is nice to do damage against those in your own division. Because you play them so many times.
Yeah.
The team or teams get a hint of how to get you out on a consistent basis. You're going to go through struggles because you face those guys so many times.
Well, Ryan Howard has the most home runs by any opponent in Turner Field in baseball. 50.
Conversely, didn't Chipper have the most at
That wouldn't shock me. I don't know.
Philadelphia?
I don't know off the top of my head, but him and David Wright, the two of them. 3-2 pitch is a little bit high for a ball, and he walked him. So a base runner for the first time for the Braves since the 3rd inning. Nick Markakis, 1 out down there at first. That'll bring up Hector Olivera. He tripled his last at bat, but could make it no further. Stranded down there at 3rd. So Markakis takes his lead off of first. The pitch from Eichhoff is lined just over the Braves dugout into the crowd. You're talking about having success against division foes, and Ryan Howard had his fair share. The Phillies, on the other hand, when they were winning all those division titles and league championships, they would beat the NL East on a regular clip. Well, they are 16 games under 500 against division foes this year. Carlos Ruiz keeps that one in front of him. 16 games under 500.
That is not called doing work in your own division.
No.
We didn't really talk about Jared Eichhoff and what good a job he did of getting out of that 1st and 3rd, 1 out.
Big swing and a miss. It's 1-2 to Olivera. Yeah, 2 different times, really.
Yeah, after the pitch that didn't go his way, Pat Hoberg thought it was breaking ball up. Next pitch, 3-2. Olivera shoots it off the right field wall for a triple. Walks Freddie Freeman and gets out of it.
1-2 pitch off the end of the bat into left field. Coming in on it is Sweeney, and he makes the catch for the 2nd out. That was just a reached out poke at the left field. Take a look at their run against the NL East. Back in the 2006 and 7, they were terrific. And what Ryan Howard, obviously a big part of that. And you see what they've done this year: 23 and 39. The winning percentage is just .371.
And we know going in that might be the case with the pitching staff that the Nats were supposed to have. I think the Mets really surprised everybody.
Yeah. And the Mets have had the Phillies number. Whew. They have been a thorn in the side of the Phillies, well, really for the last couple of seasons. Shift is on for Freddie Freeman. There's the 0-1 pitch. That's inside for a ball. It's 1-1.
And even the Braves, they've won 5 of the last 31 games. And 3 of those wins were against the Phillies.
Yeah.
So it's been a struggle in the NL East for the Phils.
1-1 pitch. That's the line drive to right field. Bogusevic is there, though, and he'll make the catch. So once again, Jared Eichhoff does a real nice job against the heart of this Braves order. He got another strikeout in the inning, and the Phils still lead it 1-0.
Is continuing to put together a very impressive first season. Out of the Rule 5 draft and into the lineup, Odubel Herrera is covering all parts of the Phillies outfield and is among the best NL rookies in average, doubles, infield hits, and stolen bases. He is the first Philly with 25 doubles and 14 steals since Jimmy Rollins did so in 2001. El Torito has grabbed the bull by the horns in 2015. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
And some of the fighting Phillies fans here enjoying this beautiful night in Atlanta. Phils with a 1-0 lead, hoping to add to it here in the top of the 6th. Jared Eichhoff will lead it off, and his first pitch swing cut off by Oliveira, and a hard throw over there to Freddie Freeman for the first out. So one quick out here in the top of the 6th, and that'll bring up the top of the order for the Phillies.
A lot of movement. Ryan Weber he's not really fooling these guys. It's just the fact that, you know what, I'm going to use my movement to get you out.
It's worked so far, for sure. As Andres Blanco is the batter. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out in his last at bat. You know, Ryan Weber is just 25 years old, as we told you, 6 foot 180 pounds. And the first time that he met his manager, Freddie Gonzalez, they were not here at the ballpark, and he met him at an event, and he saw this baby-faced kid as he grounds that one to second base, 4-3 for the putout. Kind of come up to him and introduce himself, and Freddie Gonzalez said, "I was waiting for him to hand me a baseball to sign." He didn't know who it was. And he said, I'm part of your new rotation, Skip." And Freddie said, all right, son.
Well, I know he's happy to have him on his squad tonight.
He's done a nice job so far. So that'll bring up Darnell Sweeney, also 0 for 2. Darnell Sweeney in a little bit of a funk. He's 0 for his last 11. Takes that breaking ball over for a strike. It's 0-1.
His swing does seem like it's gotten a bit longer. He came up, and I really liked what I saw. But I think, if anything, he knows there's some opportunity here. And right. I think he might be just trying to do a little too much.
Pressing just a little bit. It's not like he's getting regular at bats. I mean, he's playing here and he's playing there, which I would imagine makes it a little bit more difficult as well. 1-1 pitch. But there you go. Perfect example of the big swing right there.
Yeah. He knows Odubel's going to play every day. Bogusevic gets called up. He's been swinging a hot bat.
Well, here's the 1-2 pitch to Darnell Sweeney, and that one's off the end of the bat down at third. Nice play by Oliveira. He picks it, throws across for the final out of the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Phillies. 3 ground ball outs. And Ryan Weber is through the 6th inning and doing a nice job, but Phils still have a 1-0 lead. McDonald's with a double cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com. Bottom of the 6th, Turner Field in Atlanta. Not a whole lot of offense to speak of, but that guy's happy. Phils with a 1-0 lead. A.J. Pierzynski will be leading off for the Braves. 0 for 2 tonight. Fly out. And we're calling that a humpback line out. Is that
I called it a JS4, jam shot 4.
If you're scoring at home. 1-0 to Pierzynski. Swings and pops that one straight up left field. In comes Darnell Sweeney. He's under it. And he makes the catch for the first out. It's time now for our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. Leslie?
Yes, our cold hard fact brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light has to do with the starting pitchers and the amount of innings they're getting out of them this year. And Jared Eichhoff leads the way with averaging 6 innings a start. He looks like he's just about on pace for that tonight. And, that prompted a conversation with Pete Mackanin about quality starts and his dislike for the term quality start, because that means somebody goes 6 innings, gives up 3 runs or less, and that can be something that a player might adopt as being okay. And I know, Ben, you and I spoke about this earlier. This is a real pet peeve of yours as well.
Yeah, the term is, I wouldn't say it's outdated, but bottom line is starting pitchers are supposed to go out and go as hard as they can, as long as they can. Just because they get to 6 innings doesn't mean, you know what, I've done my job. It's like a hitter going 3 for 3, going up his 4th at bat and saying, you know what, I already have 3 hits. I'm good to go. No, you don't. That's not how it goes. You want to get that 4th knock. And the starting pitchers, it's the same way. Oh, I did 6 innings. I gave 3 runs. There's so many different kinds of quality starts that you could have. Maybe your bullpen's really suffering. You need to go late in the game. Maybe give up 5 runs to a Toronto Blue Jays, a great offensive team. But you get deep in the ball game and you save your pen.
Eddie Galvis and Darren Ruff over there in foul territory. A little miscommunication, and that one bounces into the stands. So new life for Cameron Maben. It looked like Darren Ruff had it all the way, and then I don't know, maybe Freddie called him off at the last second. Let's take a look. You see Ruff, and he says, oh. Well, I'm not sure what happened there.
You get that close to a ball, and he just brought his arm back in.
You know, the pen has been far from saved, to your point, Ben. If you look at the numbers, we looked up what how many clean innings the Phillies have had, and we took it from when Jonathan Papelbon was traded up until last night. And they've thrown 175 innings, and of those, they've had 47 clean innings. That could be by one pitcher or by a combination of pitchers going 1, 2, 3 in the inning. That's 27%. That number is obviously not a good number. They have 11 pitchers in that bullpen, but getting those shutdown innings has been a really difficult time for this bullpen.
Yeah, it's one of those things that we've talked about. You see the numbers that Leslie's talking about. 27%, 1, 2, 3 in those 175 innings.
Yeah, this bullpen has been taxed. These guys are tired.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and Drelton Simmons is the batter with 2 outs here. Line shot to center field. Coming in on it is Odubel Herrera, and just like that, we're through another half inning. We're wasting no time here in Atlanta. 1, 2, 3 go the Braves. We're headed to the top of the 7th inning. The Phils lead it 1-0. Well, time now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary, and well, there's not a whole lot to talk about it. Phillies have 2 hits. Brian Bogusevic and Carlos Ruiz have 2 singles. They scored on a double play, a fielder's choice double play earlier in this game in the 2nd inning. 0 for 4 of the Braves with runners in scoring position. Both pitchers efficient, I think is the right word, and getting more efficient as this game goes on, it seems like.
Yeah, not any more efficient than the 6th inning. Ryan Weber threw a total of 7 pitches. Jared Eichhoff threw a total of 8 pitches. 8 and 7. Let me count my toes. And 15 pitches altogether, Murph.
Yeah, you got that right. Very good. And that's why we sit at 1-0 here in the top of the 7th. 84 pitches total for Weber. That one's inside and low for a ball. It's 1-1. It'll be Herrera, Darren Ruff, Brian Bogusevic here in the 7th inning for the Phils. Line shot, nice play down there at second base, and wow, 4-3 goes to put out. Jace Peterson lays out for that one, sends it over to Freddie Freeman, and that was a pretty play. Playing fantasy baseball, MLB.tv serves up real-time highlights and pitch tracking info on your out-of-market fantasy players live or on demand on over 400 devices. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Get MLB.tv today. So a nice play by Peterson for the first out in the inning. Darren Ruff steps to the plate. He walked his last at bat. First pitch swinging, fouls that one back.
And that is a good play because you keep the speed off the bases. Nobody out. Odubel can beat you in a lot of ways with his legs.
Outside for a ball. Swings through that one. It's 1-2 now to Darren Ruff. So 12 of the last 20 runs that the Phils have scored have been on home runs. And Pete Mackanin was talking about that yesterday after the game. He said 12 of our last 20 runs scored are coming off home runs, and we're not a home run hitting team. That's not how we're designed to score. And that is a big reason why they're not able to, to generate a couple of base hits in a row, get runs the old-fashioned way, and if they're relying on pop, they're going to be in trouble. As Darren Ruff swings through that one, and it's another strikeout for Weber. Well, we don't have any much offense, but how about our Hyundai defensive play of the game?
Ball smoked off of Michael Bourne's bat. Darren Ruff knows he cannot get to. Goes home, and Carlos Ruiz applies the tag at home plate. Good reserve. Thus far, the shutout for Jared Eichhoff. So good play by Darren Ruff as your Hyundai defensive play of the game, presented by your local Hyundai dealers.
If you're not going to score, you need good defense. So far, really both teams have played solid defense. Some big plays in big moments in this game. Brian Bogusevic takes that one on the outside corner, and he's behind 0-2 now. 2 outs. Phils have gone down in order in the last 5 innings. 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Last 4 innings. First 2 out in this inning. Weber has his sign. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside for a ball. It's 1-2.
And they only brought 4 men to the plate in the first and 4 men to the plate when they scored their run in the second.
So 2 over the minimum so far for Ryan Weber, and that one's outside for a ball as well. It's 2-2 now.
Unless they were to get Peterson and Bourne on base next inning, I think that would be it for Weber, because he's due to bat third. Pitch count right at 96. Full bullpen.
Inside for a ball. It's 3-2. That is the 6th full count of the evening. There you see Eichhoff. Two pitch, ground ball back to the pitcher. Weber bare hands, throws first, and nice play by Freddie Freeman for the final out of the inning. So once again, Phils go 1, 2, 3 in that one. Brian Weber helping himself out with a little bit of defense. We're going to head to the bottom of the 7th. Still looking for some offense. It's 1-0 Phillies. Every time the Phillies retire, the opposing team 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Jared Eichhoff's been able to do that twice tonight to the Atlanta Braves. Once back in the 4th, once in the 6th. Jace Peterson is the batter. Takes that first pitch over for a strike. Breaking ball outside for a ball. It's 1-1. You like that pitch?
I do. Anytime you see Chooch either hold it there for a quick minute,
yeah,
or double clutch and throwing it back, he liked it as well.
1-1 pitch, line drive, and that's a base hit. Well, we said it before. We'll say it again. Isn't that always the way? After a pitch that you think they miss, that's a base hit for Jace Peterson. Well, we got some bad news. The Reading Fighting Phils. Final game of their Eastern League Championship against Bowie. And the Fighting Phils fall 7-2. So the Bay Sox win their first ever Eastern League Championship. They win that series 3-2. But what a season it was for the Reading Fighting Phils. Came down to the last game. That bunt goes right in front of the plate. Nice play by Carlos Ruiz over to second and first. Double play. I think Michael Bourne is saying he thought that was foul, but nope. Carlos Ruiz right out on it. It's a perfect throw down to second base and over to first. Double play.
Like a puma.
Yeah.
Pouncing on this baseball out in front of the plate. Chooch firing it. Andres Blanco completing the double play.
I'll tell you what, it does look like maybe it went. What do you think? Fair ball?
On the line. All the way.
Says the hometown announcer. I agree. And that's 2 outs. A nice play by Carlos Ruiz. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. And Nick Swisher is the pinch hitter for the pitcher Ryan Weber. So his night is done. That might be good news for the Phils and their offense. They really had their troubles against Ryan Weber. So Swisher's in and takes that one outside for a ball. 1-0. Freddie Gonzalez going over and saying congrats. Maybe telling him that he'll sign that baseball anytime he wants.
He knows who he is now,
yeah,
doesn't he?
He sure does.
Yeah, get him out of the game.
You see Swisher's numbers. That was a little bit low. You heard Leslie Goodell talking about Nick Swisher earlier in the game, about his role on this Braves team. Accepting that, kind of understanding why he's here. Certainly he wants to play, but he also can add a whole lot more to a group of young players. Going to Freddie Galvis is right. Slides, picks it up, throws it over to Darren Ruff. And after the leadoff base hit, gets erased by the double play. Jared Eichhoff able to get out of the inning rather nicely. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 1-0. At ChevyDealer.com. By Jefferson, where health is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW or visit jefferson.edu. And by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com today to find out. Toyota, let's go places. We head to the top of the 8th. Phillies holding on to that 1-0 lead. Just 2 hits for the Phils, but they've got the Braves where it counts on the scoreboard. And as we promised you earlier, Leslie Goodell, you got a photo for us, do you not?
Yes, we do. And today's photo comes from Brian Capo 27 at Brian Capo 27. My mom and me doing the horns with Odubel. I don't think they're alone. That's becoming quite the trend. Tweet your strongest fan photo to Philly Photo Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Now that is a great photo.
Nice.
You know what? Odubel Herrera has no fun playing baseball.
Not at all.
He has no fun hanging out with the fans. He is just a boatload of energy at all times. I love watching him interact with the fans because he really, really does enjoy it.
Hey, this is so cool. I'm almost hitting 300. I never had to go to AAA.
Yeah.
This is great.
This is all right. There's a new pitcher for the Braves. It's Edwin Jackson, appearing in his 40th game, facing Carlos Ruiz. Swings and misses at the first pitch.
In his 40th season.
Is Edwin Jackson? He just signed with the Braves in the middle of August. Outside.
Weber did a great job. And hand it to him.
Yeah. Really kept the Phils off balance. And you think about it, you go back, the only run scored comes on that double play in the second inning, and you know they certainly had a play if they wanted to come home first and cut off Brian Bogusevic, but Freddie Freeman decides, let's get 2. There was nobody out. Let the run score. You figure in the second inning, why not? Well, here we are in the 8th.
Here we are.
Maybe he wants that one back. 2-1 pitch. Bat shattered. Carlos Ruiz thrown out by Jace Peterson. That's the first out of the inning. Carlos will need a new piece of lumber the next time around.
Yeah, but if you would ask Freddie Freeman what he would do, 100 times out of 100 times,
sure,
he would. Now, if you had an absolute monster stud pitcher, like a Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, you think maybe 1 run is all we need.
Well, right now it's all Jared Eichhoff needs. He's got the 1-0 lead. And when Jackson has his sign, first pitch to Cody Ashley is low and outside for a ball. Ashley grounded into that double play, but gets the RBI. Also grounded out to first base in his last at bat. We're in the 8th inning, and Cody Ashley's only been up to bat twice. This is his 3rd at bat. I guess it's not credited with an RBI. Did knock the run in, but not credited with an RBI. Outside corner for a strike. It's 1-2 now to Cody Ashley. Freddie Galvis waits on deck.
Edwin Jackson with much more of a downward plane than they saw out of Ryan Weber. Edwin always has had a good arm.
Swing and a miss. Cody Ashley goes down. It is the 4th strikeout for Braves pitching. The Majestic Clubhouse store at Citizens Bank Park always features a wide selection of apparel, novelties, everything Fanatic, plus authentic game-used memorabilia for all the young and the old. Open year-round, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can follow them on Twitter at Phillies MCS for all the newest arrivals and up-to-date information. The Majestic Clubhouse store. 2 outs. Top of the 8th. Swing and a miss for Freddie Galvis. It's important to note that that store is open all year round. Jeff Francoeur has moved into the on-deck circle for the Phillies. It's 1-1 to Freddie Galvis.
Edwin Jackson, the owner of a no-hitter, he did with Tampa Bay, and I want to say it was 158 pitches, 155 pitches he had to do it with.
Whatever works.
It was.
It's like A.J. Burnett's no-hitter, right?
Which
7 walks.
Thanks
in that
for bringing
game.
that up, Murph.
Oh, was that?
It was against me.
I didn't know that. 1-2. Not just you.
Not just me.
Yeah. You were a part of that.
I think AJ had 9 walks that night.
Was it 9? Yeah, I knew he had a boatload. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Outside for a ball. It's 3-2. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Jackson. Fly ball left field. Going back on it is Michael Bourne. Plenty of room, and he makes the catch. And the side is retired. 1-2-3. Once again, go the Phillies. No offense to speak of. They still have a 1-0 lead. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th. Well, one last chance to get the family pack. 4 tickets, 4 Hatfield hot dogs, and 4 Cokes for $100. It's a great value for families. 1 date remaining. That's October 3rd. That final series against the Miami Marlins. Order your tickets now at Phillies.com. These Phillies fans enjoying the night. It really is a beautiful night here in Atlanta. And Jerome Williams is your new pitcher. So Jared Eichhoff's day is done. He's got a shutout working, and he's going to hope that the bullpen can hold on and they keep it just like that. Jerome Williams appearing in his 29th game, 4-10 with an ERA of 5.80. But he's been pretty good out of the bullpen, Ben. I think you know, he was struggling a little bit as a starter. Part of the reason they made the move, they needed a guy that could give them innings, and they found that they like him in this 8th inning role.
And he has a very elastic arm. He'll always take the baseball. It's one thing I've always liked about Jerome. He wants to be in there. And if anything, I think it allows him to maybe be a bit more aggressive with his fastball. Maybe air it out a little bit more, because he does have a little in the tank. Or he can get it up to 92, 93.
Just misses on the outside part of the plate there. It's 2-0 to Nick Markakis, who's leading off. Markakis has been on base twice. He walked and he singled. Also grounded out to Freddie Galvis over there at second base. It's a 2-0 pitch. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. It's 2-1. Top of the order for the Braves. 5 hits. No runs for the Braves. 2 hits. 1 run for the Phillies. Sails a little bit outside for a ball. It's 3-1.
So Jared Eichhoff, his last 13 innings, then 1 run.
Yeah. We'll take that. That is base hit back up the middle. So Markakis is on base for the 3rd time today, and he is a leadoff base runner here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, stay tuned after the game. Ricky Bo breaks down tonight's Phillies-Braves matchup and analyzes Jared Eichhoff's performance. Only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies post-game live. Ricky Bo's not going to have a whole lot of offense to talk about, but he certainly can talk the pitching side of things. He had to throw a baseball at one time in his life. Markakis leads off first, and Hector Olivero steps in. Olivero tripled back in the 3rd inning, but was stranded at 3rd. Also got on base back in the 1st on a fielder's choice. Carlos Ruiz wants to have a word with Jerome Williams.
He's just trying to slow him down right now. He seems to be very, very quick to the plate. Jerome hasn't pitched in a few days, so I think Chu's, hey, calm down, breather. Oliver did not square around that first pitch, so we'll see.
And he takes that one on the inside corner for a strike. Count is even in 1-1 now. Inside for a ball. It's 2-1. Williams has his sign. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Laced foul. Get out of the way. And it's 2-2 now. She did not even see that coming. She's seen enough. Just missed. Right-handers warming up for the Phils. Jedmar Gomez and Kenny Giles. Count is 3-2 now to Hector Olivera. Nick Markakis gets his lead off first, and he's off and running, and then is outside for a ball. So first 2 batters have reached here in the bottom of the 8th. Just had that nagging feeling that 1 run was not going to be enough.
The base hit I can deal with, but walk guys this late in the ballgame or any time really, that's what I have a problem with.
And this is not the guy you want to see. You talked about it right off the top. Don't let Freddie Freeman beat you. And he's in an opportunity. He's in a spot right now with an opportunity to do just that. The good news is Atlanta's 0-4 with runners in scoring position tonight. They've left 6 guys on base. Phils have only left 1 man on base.
Siriaco pinch running there for Olivera. Freddie Freeman will not be bunting. Find a way to roll him up here into a pair.
First pitch to Freddie Freeman is on the outside corner for a strike. Well, Eichhoff was really good tonight. Went 7 innings, allowed just the 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Now Jerome Williams is in and trying to preserve the shutout. In a little bit of trouble. Nobody out. Runners on first and second. Freeman takes that one outside for a ball.
You see those numbers against Jerome Williams. Freddie Freeman hitting .500. He's 4 for 8 career.
Look at that, 360 with runners in scoring position this year. That's inside for a ball. That's one of the tops in baseball. I think he's 3rd in all of baseball.
And 100 points higher than his.
Yeah, that is season batting average.
Season batting average.
Rising to the occasion. He's ahead in the count, 2-1. 2-1 pitch from Freeman. It's outside for a ball. Oh boy. A.J. Pierzynski waits on deck. And now you're in a spot where you have to challenge Freddie Freeman. You have to throw a strike. It is a hitter's count.
And he knows it. They both know it.
Williams has his sign. The 3-1 pitch. Fouled off. So now 3-2 to Freddie Freeman.
Make a pitch here, Jerome.
Williams gets his sign. Runners lead off first and second. 3-2 pitch. Fly ball left field. Darnell Sweeney going back on it at the track, at the wall, and he drops it. Had it in his glove and he drops it. Good base running by both the Braves, and 2 runs are going to score. Darnell Sweeney had that in his glove. It looked like he trapped it up against the wall, then it popped out of his glove. Both Braves base runners recognize that, and they score easily. Freddie Freeman comes through again.
They go with a fastball inside here, and from our vantage point, that part of the wall is illuminated, and it's tough for us to see whether or not he held onto this baseball. I don't even think he gets any leather on it.
He did. It looked like it hit his. It actually went past his glove and hit his foot, I think. If you take a look at the replay, Freddie Freeman thought maybe it hit that one out of the park. I think it hits his foot on the way down. No, regardless, it scored a double. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
But I agree with you, Murph. That was some excellent base running. Both those runners scored easily.
I was keeping my eye on the third base umpire, and he didn't make a call. But both base runners were able to recognize that that ball had come loose and came right around to score.
Yeah, I don't think he got any leather on that.
So a pitching change here at Turner Field. All of a sudden, the Phils trail it 2-1. Had that feeling that that one run was not going to hold up. Freddie Freeman comes up. Jerome Williams in a little bit of trouble. First 2 guys get on base, and Freddie Freeman does what he does best. He knocks them in. 2-run score on his double off the wall. And Jenmar Gomez now coming in to try and keep the damage at 2. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Freddie Freeman leads off second base. There you see Gomez's numbers. He's got to deal with A.J. Pierzynski. That would have been a heck of a catch by Darnell Sweeney, but you know, at that moment in the game, and that one's line shot to Sweeney as well, a little bit of an easier play, and he'll make that catch. It's the first out of the inning, and Freeman can't go anywhere. You know, it would have been a terrific catch.
It would have been a terrific catch, but it's just a tough play. The ball really seems to be traveling the last couple of days here. And I do like the pitch selection to try and get Freddie Freeman on a fastball inside. They've had a little bit of success in these short 2 games here with that fastball, but the ball ran back out over the middle of the plate. Freddie Freeman very good at staying inside the baseball, drove it out to left field. I think if they go in there hard with a 4-seam fastball, keep that ball inside, I think he might have seen the ball off his hands a little bit more than the barrel.
Cameron Maben is the batter. First pitch sails inside. It's 1-0 to Maben. You know, you feel for Jerome Williams. Obviously, it's not what he wanted to do. It's not what he came in to do. Certainly unable to record an out, but you really feel for Jared Eichhoff, who pitched just a terrific ball game tonight. And will not have anything to show for it when it's all said and done. It's over for a strike. It's 1-1.
Well, Jared still put his team in the best position to win. That's all you can ever ask out of your starting rotation.
Well, keep the lead at 1. Phils will have one more crack at it at the top of the 9th. Freeman leads off second. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And that one's foul. So it's 1-2 now to Maben. Gets his sign from Ruiz. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball, third base. Kodiashi cross for the out. That's the second out of the inning. Freeman has to stay where he is. So nice job so far from Genmar Gomez. And there's 2 outs. And that'll bring up Andrelton Simmons. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th inning. Be a pinch hitter for the pitcher spot, and then the top of the order for the Phils.
I'd assume we see Vizcaíno again. We saw last night close out the game for the Braves.
Yeah, not without his issues. A couple base runners before he was able to get out of a jam. So 2 outs. Simmons, first pitch from Gomez, strike. 0-1.
And I spoke prematurely last night when Edwin Jackson came in to replace Ryan Weber. Edwin Jackson was a member of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he threw it against Tampa Bay.
Oh, there you go. No swing outside, so it's 1-1 now to Simmons. Well, Adam Morgan pitched well last night. Didn't get the win. Jared Eichhoff tonight pitched well. Didn't get the win. In a season like this, at least you can point to seeing some of these young guys having some success. That's a positive. It's 2-1 now to Simmons. Jace Peterson waits on deck.
If Genmar could get out of this, it would be a heck of a job by him. Man on second, nobody out. 2-1 ball game to hold the score at 2-1.
Yeah, it gives this team a chance, at least in the top of the 9th. Three-one pitch. Line drive right at the shortstop, Andres Blanco, and that is the 3rd out of the inning. So, Genmar Gomez does his job, but not before the Braves are able to take the lead. They score 2 runs on the double by that man right there, Freddie Freeman. We'll head to the top of the 9th, and the Braves lead for the first time 2-1.
trailing the Braves after a 2-run 8th by Atlanta as we go to the top of the 9th. And time now for our Major League Notebook, brought to you by St. Joseph's University. The Cardinals have clinched a playoff spot for a club record 5th consecutive playoff berth. It's the first team in the majors to clinch a spot. Arizona did it for them, actually, because the Cards fell to the Cubs earlier in the day, but Arizona beat the Giants 6-0 to push the Cardinals in. And Jacob deGrom will miss his start on Tuesday as the Mets decide to skip his start because he's reached a career high in innings. He's pitched 181 innings so far this year. And they might change it to just pushing him back a few days if, in fact, the standings were to move much over the weekend. But right now, they're planning on skipping his start. And he's not going down without a fight, guys. He's chasing his pitching coach around, Dan Warthen, and saying, "How's Tuesday looking? How's Tuesday looking?"
Well, you want a guy who wants the baseball, but it makes a lot of sense. It's a fluid situation in New York. If things were to get a little bit closer, maybe they would think about putting him back out there. But if they can skip his start and give him a little extra rest, it sounds like a pretty smart move. Jeff Francoeur is the pinch hitter here to lead off the top of the 9th, and the first pitch is over for a strike. A couple changes for the Atlanta Braves as well. Pedro Siriaco stays in the ballgame after pinch running. He's down there at third, and the new pitcher is Arodys Vizcaino, as been predicted, the closer for the Atlanta Braves, and he is quickly ahead of Jeff Francoeur, 0-2.
You can't blame Jacob deGrom for wanting to pitch. If I played once every 5th day, I didn't want to skip a start either.
I hear you. It was the 0-2 pitch outside for a ball. It's 1-2. Phillies need base runners. They trail 2-1. They have not had a base runner in quite some time. 1-2 pitch to Francoeur, swing and a miss, and he got it. First out of the inning is a strikeout to Jeff Francoeur. One down here in the top of the 9th. And the reason the Braves now have the lead, well, it's our delivery of the game.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Freddie Freeman thinks he juices one out to left, but ends up going off the fence. Darnell Sweeney cannot come up with it. Markakis and Siriaco score to give the Braves a 2-1 lead. And that is your W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
The more I watched that would have been a heck of a catch by Darnell Sweeney. That hit pretty high up off the wall. Well, Andres Blanco, the leadoff hitter, is at the plate. First pitch to him is outside for a ball. Phillies scored a run back in the 2nd inning and have gone down 1-2-3 ever since. Swing and a miss.
Not all speed by Vizcaino last night. Came out tonight throwing some fire.
5 saves and 6 chances for Arodys Vizcaino, including one last night. And this is with that. It's 2-1 now to Andres Blanco. One pitch, line drive, base hit for Andres Blanco, and that one's going to get in the right center gap, and he's thinking 2. Maben spins and turns, but Blanco is there at second easily, and that'll be a double for Andres Blanco. Exactly what you needed with one out here in the top of the 9th. He was thinking double right out of the box.
Once you see the outfielders merging like that in right center field, really there was no play at second base. Yeah. Andres, he said, thinking 2 right away.
His 19th double of the year. And you can see it right out of the box. No doubt. Juan Samuel didn't even need a waiver. He knew he was headed there.
Well, especially when the play is right in front of you like that, you know.
So the Phils have a base runner. They are 0 for 2 tonight with runners in scoring position, but with one out here in the top of the 9th, trailing 1, they've got themselves a chance. Darnell Sweeney steps to the plate. 0 for 3 tonight. That's just the 3rd hit for the Phillies. And pitch is over for a strike. So Arodys Vizcaino for the 2nd straight night is going to have to work himself out of a little bit of a jam if he wants to get his 6th save of the season. And outside for a ball. It's 1-1. Base hit could tie this up.
Home run could win it.
That'd be all right. And that is a line shot. What a catch by Andrelton Simmons. Wow. What a play at a moment that they needed it just like that. Look, that looked like a base hit off the bat. Nice base running by Andres Blanco. We should point out because he was smart enough to head back to the bag. But Andrelton Simmons, take another look. I mean, my goodness.
That's an understatement by you, by good job at base running. It's hard to tell yourself to get to go back to the bag when the ball is to the left of you. You're taking your secondary lead. Usually the ball to your right is the one you're saying, you know what, I cannot advance a base right here on the ground or via line drive. To have a ball that's hit to your left, to tell yourself to go back and retreat to second base, that is some good baseball instincts right there.
You saw Blanco, even after Simmons caught that, he still had to register in his mind what had just happened, and he had to head back to the bag. A good base running, but man, oh man, what a play by Andrelton Simmons. So that'll leave it up to Odubel Herrera with 2 outs. First pitch over for a strike. It's 0-1. Well, you can't watch this too many times.
No, you take a look right here, and it was immediate that he was going to go back and retreat towards second base.
Darnell Sweeney hit it hard. Nothing to show for it.
Odubel did have a peek at Vizcaíno last night. Did strike out. The ball eventually made it into the stands.
On the outside corner.
0-2.
Fuel. Yeah. I mean, what can you do with that?
Well, it was 98, but it was on the black on the outside corner on the knees. It's just a hard pitch to hit.
20,000 plus here at Turner Field tonight, and they are on their feet, anticipating a final strike. But they'll still have life. Runner at second is Andres Blanco. Odubel Herrera digs in. It's 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Oh, right over his head. That's going to go to the backstop. Blanco moves up to third. Did that hit him in the helmet? Or did he get out of the way?
I don't know how it didn't hit anything. He threw his bat up in the air.
Take a look.
It was right over top.
Wow.
I think maybe the nick we heard could have been off Pierzynski's glove. That'll get your heart going.
Yeah, I thought I heard something. Oh my. Yeah, it was off.
That was off his glove.
Yeah, off his glove.
That's just a straight yank.
That'll be a wild pitch. So the tying run is 90 feet away.
4 left.
Hey, throw another one of those and this game is tied. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Blanco at third. Herrera at the plate. Vizcaíno has his sign. Blanco starts and stops, so Vizcaíno steps off. And we'll do it again. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Inside for a ball. It's 2-2.
You have to be up on your haunches just a little bit more if you're A.J. Pierzynski. You just saw the heater get away from him. And obviously bounce that breaking ball as well.
Phillies will take it any way they can get it. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Outside for a ball. It's 3-2. Braves fans, they wanted that one. Darren Ruff waits on deck. Full count to Odubel Herrera. There's Andres Blanco at third. He doubled. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Called, third strike. Breaking ball, 85 miles per hour. It fooled Odubel Herrera. And Pat Hoberg punches him out for the final out of the inning. So it wasn't without its drama once again, but Arodys Vizcaíno gets his 6th save of the season, and the Braves take game 2 in this series. Phillies had their chances late in this one. Freddie Freeman was the offensive hero. Take another look. That's a good pitch.
Backdoor breaking ball, stays up a bit. Odubel, I think, was looking for that 98-mile-an-hour heater. Never got it.
So your winning pitcher tonight is Edwin Jackson, and Williams will take the loss.